boom boom. It's getting hot in here. It's getting boom boom. It's getting hot in here. Boom boom. It's getting hot in here. It's getting boom boom. It's getting hot in here.
Hey guys, as some of you may know, we are hosting a Food Revolution luncheon at Tribe on Friday the 31st of May at 12:30. So we invite you all to bring along a homemade meal made from fresh, wholesome nutrition ingredients from scratch, rather than reaching for that pre-packaged stuff on the supermarket shelf that's filled with all that nasty additives. So to inspire you all for this day, we do have the master chef himself, Mr. Chris Leo, cooking up a storm for us today. What are you going to cook for us, Chris?
Well, Fitz, you're in for a treat today. What we're going to do is actually cook some homemade organic pasta. Now we're going to mix it in with a bit of pesto sauce, and add some basil in, and a bit of oregano, a bit of spinach as well. And of course we're using with organic products and with egg whites as well. So hey, let's get started.
I'm excited.
Alrighty, so first of all, what we want to do is actually to make the pasta itself. We're going to use 2 egg whites, we're going to use some spinach, a bit of oregano. We're going to mix it in the food processor, and then from there we're going to mix that in with some organic plain flour. Roll it up, cut the pasta pieces, and move on from there.
Alright,
let's go. Okay, so what we're going to do is crack the egg, open it up. We're going to pour it straight through the egg drainer. It's going to catch the yolk, let the egg white pour through, and there we go. That's all we got to do. So then, okay, so into the food processor, some organic spinach. We're going to throw just a little bit of oregano in there too. Now it's important that we don't put too much oregano in there, because what it tends to do is to take the flavour, and there's really strong taste in there. So adding there the egg whites. Alright, and we're going to mix it up. Alright, so there's our mixture. All we're going to do is add our mixture with our spinach, oregano, and our egg whites. So we're just going to put that straight into the bowl. Just make sure we scoop it all out in there. So that's why at the end of today you're going to see that the pasta comes out quite green. And that's because of the spinach and the oregano. Now what we're going to do is add a cup of flour, but what we want to do is add it just in gradually, so slowly, slowly, slowly. We don't want to add it too much at one go, because then it doesn't mix too well. So once we add it in there, we're just going to keep mixing it around and gradually adding the flour as we go. So I like to use a rolling board, and make sure we coat the rolling board with plenty of flour, and that's to our rolling pin. So all we're going to do is start rolling it along. Now the good thing about this is there's plenty of fun for the kids as well, so get the kids involved and they can also help with the kneading. So you soon start to see that as soon as it starts to stick to our rolling pin, it means there's not enough flour in there. So just got to keep adding the flour. As you're rolling it as well, just feel free to keep mixing it up. Okay, so and again, once you've rolled it out nice and fine, I'm going to cut it into nice little straight pieces like fettuccine. Now as I mentioned, we can take this up and put it straight in the pan if we like. Okay, so Fitzy, now it's cooking the chicken. So what we're going to do is use a bit of organic coconut oil. Now we tend to use the coconut oil instead of extra virgin olive oil because it doesn't lose its saturated fat qualities at a high temperature like olive oil does. So we're going to use just a bit of oil in the pan. There you go, it's going to melt really, really fast.
What was that?
Okay, from there, once that's melted, which is about where you want it to be, what we're going to do is place a bit of chicken in the pan. And let's let that simmer just on a fairly low heat. Okay, so now we've got the chicken cooking. We're going to cook the pasta. Now, as I mentioned before, the pasta doesn't take too long to cook at all. Just before we throw it in, to avoid the pasta sticking together, we're just going to sprinkle a tiny bit of olive oil on top. Throw the pasta in. Okay, and as soon as it goes in, we want to mix it around straight away, so again, just so it doesn't stick. Pasta's cooking, chicken's cooking, so I want to make the pesto sauce. So this is going to be the fastest sauce we'll ever make. All we need is a bit of fresh basil. Again, we're going to throw that straight into the food processor. We're going to mix there some toasted pine nuts. Straight on top, a bit of light Parmesan cheese. And straight on top, doesn't really matter which order you throw it in, as long as we put it in the food processor, we'll take care of the rest. And then right on top, 1 clove of garlic and a tiny bit of olive oil, just sprinkle it over the top, just to help it mix together a little bit more. Okay, let's mix it up. Okay, so there's our pesto done. What we're going to do here is take our pesto off. That's what it looks like once it's all mixed up in the food processor. Come around this way, Fitzy. What we're going to do is add our pesto into our chicken. Let's take it all off there. Scrape the pesto sauce in with the chicken. And you can really start to smell that smelling really nice. That's all the basil and the garlic really coming through there. Okay, so it's going to mix it around. Now we don't want to cook the pesto, so we're not going to leave it there for too long. All we want to do here is just heat it up. So I'm going to leave it on the pot just for about 30 seconds. Okay, so that's mixed nice, the pesto feels nice and hot. Okay, we'll take that there off. That's ready to go. We'll take our pasta out and then we're ready to serve. What we're going to do now is put the chicken and pesto mixture just straight on top. Okay, that's there, and I'm just going to finish it off. Just a couple of pieces of our cherry tomatoes, just straight on top. And of course, what better way to end a dish than a nice bit of basil on top. So there it is, our homemade pasta. So as you can see, just as easy as buying pasta from the supermarket, and it's also from the supermarket. Now, if you do prefer to buy your pasta rather than make it, what you can do is use some Coles organic pasta. Again, very low in sugar. Okay, have a taste, Fitzy, tell me what you think.
I'm excited. Alright, gotta get a bit of pasta on here too. You've lived up to your reputation, Chris.
One of my best.
So we'll see you there on Food Revolution Day, Friday the 31st of May at Tribe at 12:30. See you there, guys.
See you then. Thanks for listening.